Now, I'm going to ask a couple of questions that are kind of basic general questions. If anyone wants to ask a question, just kind of think about it, maybe find think about questions as I'm asking yourself. If you want to ask a question, I'll open the questions up to the floor after I've asked questions. Everyone okay with that? So first question is kind of what made you run for the position in the first place?
Well, I didn't really know what a VPP did, to be honest, until Andy approached me and asked me. And since then, I've spoken to you, I've spoken to Jazz, and it sounds challenging, but something I'd be really up for, something I really want to do, because I feel like I can make a difference.
With me, I just, literally, like I just said, I saw problems and things that could be changed with the sports societies, and I've done this kind of work previously myself, and I thought I could bring things that worked for me in that capacity into Heythrop and see if it works. So I just thought we need to do it, so we don't go.
And also, I was just saying, what aspects are you looking forward to most in your job, and what's your kind of main pledge in your first year?
Well, I really like my bookstore idea. I feel like from myself, I've been buying a lot of books recently, and books can be very overpriced, like 30 foot. I feel like if our students are good students, and they would want to give something back. And I feel like if they would donate their books, and we could sell them, then it raises money which we could redistribute into back to the students themselves.
I'm personally looking forward to. Every year people try and make the pledge to battle Heythrop apathy, and I'm making the pledge again. Like, it really does, it's something we have an issue with, and I really would like to excite the societies, get them more out there in Heythrop, get people doing things with the societies. A lot of people know they're there, but don't take advantage of them. And I think if they were allowed to, if they had opportunity to show what they can offer, then more students will get involved. So.
Okay, and next question is, within your role, what do you think is the most challenging part for you personally?
I would say making a difference is the most challenging part, because like Ashely said, Heythrop apathy is a big thing. It's something we'd all like to tackle, and we need to find ways of doing it.
With mine, it's making sure societies continue, because there are so many societies I've seen every year have had to either reboot themselves or something proper action. So I think getting societies to follow the constitution to hold proper action would be a big challenge, but I think it's one that needs to be taken.
Okay, so at this point, that's the questions I'm asking. Would anyone like to ask a question? Ben?
To both candidates, in your manifestos or your speeches, you've both mentioned things that people that have run for your positions in the past have also promised and perhaps worked on, which isn't a bad thing, you know, from year on year. Good idea doesn't stop being a good idea. However, because there has been work in the past, the recent past, what research have you done into the role to prepare you for this election?
Well, the Imperial idea and things like that, they've all been like dabbled with in the past, like we shared on Christmas Ball with the Courtauld Arts College. I think that's a great thing, because I feel like if why not, basically? Why not establish us in a group and make us a bigger voice within ULIB and things like that?
Well, personally, I've been trying to help out since we found out that Jodie had to leave to go to Australia. I've been trying to help God of the entirety since then, with sports and societies, things just in the background. I helped with the Freshers' Fair, and I just like to be around the office to help out. And I think being in the office, you see, like I can see secondhand, being not part of the union, some of the problems the union had to deal with. So I think just observing, I've seen that there probably are things I could do to help.
A follow-up question, or is that okay? Awesome. Anyone else got a question?
And to both of you, how would you try and help students that have to live in halls for their first year to be more part of the university with regards to society and just in general?
I feel like people that live in halls and people don't live in halls. There was a big divide last year, especially, that I noticed being in halls myself. I feel like it's a tough thing, but I feel like the freshers' families was a big thing, which was something we could carry on next year, so we can group everyone rather than as an event that only halls people turn up to. I feel like we need to get people that don't live in halls back in, maybe not do so many things just within the university, and rather do them outside.
I think with me is I'm going to try a little more to have societies relay their information to me, so then I can then give it to Quddous. So it'll be more all students emails about society events, because a lot of societies operate on Facebook, and I know not everyone has Facebook, and that the people are missed. I'm going to make sure that on the society's board, all of the contact details for all of the society's presidents are up. So if people want to get involved, people can come down here, find the person's name and their email address, and get in contact. Because I think people that don't divorce do get forgotten sometimes, and I don't, that shouldn't be the way it works. I'm going to try my hardest to make sure all students have information at all times about what's going on.
Is that next? Yeah, anyone else got a question?
For Sports and Socks, the Society's budget has been more tightly regulated this year. Do you believe all societies should get funding for their society? And what is the overall budget of Sports and Society? What have you got to play with this year?
I believe not all societies necessarily need a budget, and some will admit that readily. They will say we don't necessarily need money to run our society, which is why I plan to hold the half-yearly meetings to see if a society is using their budget, they can keep it. If they're not, we'll reallocate funds, because society's budget is only small. I think it's about £4,000 we get a year for societies, and that's just, it's not a lot of money. You need to regulate that slightly. You need to make sure it's all being used properly, because there's no point having it just sitting there and not using it.
Yeah. To VPD. The position for VPD is likely to turn into a sabbatical, and being that one person for your role has already left because of study issues, do you believe the role at the current time is too big to be done alongside your studies?
I'll tell you in a couple of months, I suppose. I feel like I'm a fairly committed person, and I feel like I am a driven person, and once I want to do something, I will do it. It's perfect.
Okay, anyone else got questions? Any questions at all? Do you have any more, Alex?
Got quite a few. Right, okay. Sports and Socks again. You ran for male welfare at the last election. Why do you now feel you're more suited to being Sports and Societies officer?
I wouldn't say it's been a feeling that I'm more suited. I just, like I said earlier, I saw that the job needed to be done, and I previously done the job in my sixth form. I've seen how it should be done, and I think we could do it. So I ran for it because it needs to happen. Sports societies need someone to make sure that they're working properly. So I did the job because the job needs to be done. Pretty simple.
Fair enough. Right. just me now. Right, VPD. What would you have done differently to Jasmine should you have been Vice President during her tenure over Freshers Week? Sorry.
I can go if you want.
I wouldn't have quit.
What?
I wouldn't have quit.
Yeah.
I think Jazz did do a good job, and she set some foundations for the year that could be carried on. Obviously, I'm not Jazz, so there are things that I would like to do and bring in my own stamp on things, as well as build on what Jazz has done. But Jazz did a good job.
Please, someone else.
Yeah, okay, you two.
Me?
Yeah, okay, John then.
What are you going to do, firstly to Sports and Societies, to, I suppose, advertise the fact that mature and postgraduate students can be involved in the Sports and Societies? I suppose it's to both of you really, because it's about developing the relationship between the union and mature and postgraduates, but also, well, what you're going to do for them?
Well, personally, I'll encourage societies that if they're holding an event to, I think the easiest way to get in touch with postgraduates is to put flyers into lecture theatres before postgraduate do lectures, because that tends to be the only way you can really reach postgraduates, because they don't, most of them don't tend to check their emails as much, or if they do, they don't. They have lives outside of university. They've got far more important things to worry about. You know, whether someone's holding a coffee morning or whatever. You know, they've got children and lives and all sorts of things. But making information available, just like encouraging them to put flyers into the postgraduate lectures, just so they can see what's going on.
Yeah, contact with postgrads is important in the same way that Holden Hall students and non-Holden Hall students are slightly segregated. I think that would be something I'd like to work with you on, to develop, listen to you, and sort it out in that way.
Jasmine?
It's Barrie. Your manifesto is really good, but it doesn't mention the strategic plan in it, and that's up for renewal this year. So what would your plans be with the strategic plan, and what would you want to put into it?
Well, I don't really know much about the strategic plan at the moment, which is something I obviously want to work with you on, and anyone else for help, basically.
Sorry. The sports and socks. What societies have you run in the past? And another question is, what do you feel is the most successful society over this year and last year?
Well, last year I ran an LGBT society with Steve McGahey. We had a great opening few weeks, and then it kind of just petered out from there. My fault, and also people whose interest, if you're not active at all times, and we weren't, that's something, I admitted that. I think there was it could have done, but this year's been taken up by Andrew and Peter, and they're doing a fantastic job with it. I hope it carries on from strength to strength with that. As far as the most successful societies in Heythrop, I think with two, you've got Quddous and Budo. I think they're both very successfully, both really established themselves now, especially Budo, who's been going for years now. He's done an amazing job with Budo up there. They're like a Heythrop institution now almost. So yeah, I'd say Budo is Quddous probably.
You got another one?
I'm so sorry. Right, last one. VPD, what experience do you have in the real world of things like that? Do you feel you can bring to VPD?
Well, in both years of my sixth form, I was my year rep, and in my final year of sixth form, well, hang on, take it back a bit. I started like a recycling plant for my secondary, because my sixth form was in my secondary school. We started a recycling plant. We changed, how to explain? We changed the way lunchtime works now. So we've left behind the sort of legacy that was brought in with the new head teacher, where we have houses in the school now, and different houses go for lunch at different times, because my secondary school was massive. There was like 2,000 kids in there, and that's a lot different now. And in year 13, I was on the panel that interviewed our new head teacher and helped appoint him, not to show her around. It was all very scary. He's a nice guy.
Cheers. Right, that's all my questions.
Anyone else got any more questions? They thought of anyone? Okay, well, thank you so much for coming to Hastings. Voting opens on Monday, so check your email to see your link to vote. As soon as you get your link, you can vote. So voting will be open until Tuesday at 11 PM. So please do vote quite quickly, because it's only open for about a day or so. So please do get on that and then get your email. Okay, well, thank you so much.